Hello, back again. So we decided that residential treatment would be a good option. And residential treatment is a place where you can go to get therapy. You stay there, other people who are struggling are living there also. There's chores and activities. And when I first got there, yeah, it was really horrible, just in terms of feeling discouraged. But I met this staff member who was particularly enthusiastic and said to me, I think you could run a half marathon. And I was like, oh, I think I'm struggling to get out of bed. But for some reason, I was kind of curious about the idea, and I had always liked slow jogging. So I thought, if I can jog a couple miles, why not just stay out there? So I reluctantly put a training schedule on my wall, and I committed to it. And I said, I'm pretty stubborn, and once I set my mind to something, I often follow through with it. So I put this schedule up, and I just started running with this staff member. It was so challenging sometimes. We'd go for really long runs, and I'd get these thoughts in my head like, I want to quit. I can't run a single step further. And he would just be jogging there beside me, and I was like, you know what, I made this decision in my head to commit to running, so I'm going to do this. And I kept running, and I kind of realized that was going to happen pretty frequently on my runs, especially the long runs. I was going to have those feelings about wanting to quit. And the more I was reflecting on my life in this residential treatment center, I started to realize that that's kind of what was happening to me in life too, is that I would come to these points where I just felt like I could quit. And I wanted to quit, and it seemed like there was nothing else left but quitting. But I had the choice to just recognize those as thoughts and continue to keep going anyways, and trust that there might be something out there that I didn't know about, and it was worth staying around for. And that was our attitude that I started to start living by. I was realizing at that point that there would always be options, and I might not know them as soon as a problem arises, but if I just keep going, there is always hope, and there is always a reason to keep going, even when we have thoughts that tell us that it's time to quit. What I've realized now is that I will always struggle. There's no way I can predict what life is going to be like for the rest of my life. And that's really scary to me. But at the same time, I'm realizing there's a lot I can control. I couldn't control that I had rapid cycling for 2 years. But what I can control is what I do about it. Today, you'll find me all sorts of places. I'm a student. Find me in the library. I love to go dancing. Sometimes I'm out doing that with some friends. Or maybe I'm spending a night alone, because alone time is really important to me too. And, it's really important for me to have fulfilling things in my life and to realize what things are in my life that are draining and find a good balance, because it can be really challenging and to find that balance. But that's really important, because my mental health is really important to me. One thing that keeps me fulfilled is actually my job. I'm really lucky to have a job where I work in a peer-run community center. So that means that I work with people that have also had struggles, and we come together and try to build community and create safe places for people to talk about whatever's going on. And I'm actually currently going into psychiatric units, but this time not as a patient. I'm going in as a peer, as someone who has also struggled, and it's really amazing that my strengths are, or that my struggle is my strength in a lot of ways, because I get to go in these units and say, hey, I've been on this unit. I might have even been in your room. And, let's talk and let's connect. And that connection is something that I benefit from, and hopefully they are too. The peer center that I work for has really helped me get connected. I've learned that being connected to myself and my community is something that really helps me feel less alone. There are so many ways that if you're feeling like you want to get more connected, that you can do that. Active Minds is a great place to start. Check out our website, www.activeminds.org. You can join your college's chapter, or look on the website for other ways to get involved. Look up mental health resources in your local area. There's also, as you know, a bazillion things on the internet, including some really great mental health organizations like Icarus, or the intentional peer support that my peer center uses. There's plenty of ways to connect. And I think it's really important because, like I started to say in the beginning, I share my story because I know what it's like to feel completely alone and ashamed of what I'm going through. Our culture needs to change, and we are our culture, so we need to do it. I think it's so important to talk about those scary places that we are ashamed of, because that's where healing and that's where hope for me comes in, is once I can, finally start to talk about what's going on for me. I know it's kind of cheesy, but my struggles have honestly made me a stronger person. I feel like I have so much more insight into who I am as a person, how I work, how my relationships with people work, how the world works, because I've had to go through all of this. And I feel like I'm constantly changing, and I'm becoming someone that I'm really proud of. And this is only the beginning. Thank you so much for listening.